You see them all over the place. This is actually the capital place where RV and recreational vehicles are made. I was talking to a guy yesterday and he says that 85% of the vehicles that are recreational, 30,000 of those rigs needed to be shipped places. The people who make these trailers, Jayco, is right down the street. And the company actually hires people to drive the trailers to the dealers they're going to. Or you could just go like that guy right there. He's carrying 3 of them. Yeah, see him? These are all brand new. Just came out the factory. All lined up down there too. Guess this is a daily thing. People say that they can do a run in a day. Maybe an idea. Maybe an idea for me. Here's a pair of shoes. And the socks that go to them out here. I have no clue what that's about, but my brain's going crazy with it. I didn't know you can get a senior coffee if you're not a senior, but 25 cents. 72 at Save. 317 for diesel. No one ever seems to give anybody a break on diesel. So keep that in mind. New York City. I wonder if it really is. Imagine that being all the way out here. Casey's Mini Mart. Casey, nice dad. All the pieces are connecting. Perfect time. Got another one over there. Lakeville, Indiana. 91. I think this might be one of the dudes in the wild. Indiana plate. I don't know. We'll see his side panel. Oh yeah, he's pulling for Synergy. That's one of the other companies you can go with. Only problem is you gotta have a rig that can pull it, you know? So, I don't know about that. You can make a nice little house in there, you know? You know, you get the crew cab deal. It's interesting to see, and you'll never forget it, you know? That all these RVs had to get to the spot they were bought at from somebody, you know? If it were that, you drive that, and then you tow your car behind it, and you get a certain amount of miles. Now, the bigger the rig is, the bigger your truck's gonna have to be, and then that factors in to all the stuff, you know? The bigger the truck, the more power you have to tow it. Now, that's a ball hitch. And this is a totally different type of deal right here. This is a totally different hitch. Totally different type of truck that you have to pull it. You have to have a dually truck, and that could cost more tires, more gas, etc., etc. But if you got these small guys, like I showed you before, you could stack them 2 or 3 onto a semi-trailer. You know, it's all ideas out there for you. Alright, welcome back to the humble abode. I just wanted to give you a little recap. I basically talked to a guy that was at the Walmart, you know, when in Rome, talked to the guys. They want to be talked to anyway, I think. They're all kind of just hanging out of the cab because it was super hot that day. Super hot and humid. Anyways, he told me how he started. He started by leasing a, that's the best way to get into it. There's no real downside, you know, if you don't like what you're doing. Basically, all you do is you don't do it anymore. You give the keys back to whoever you rented it from, you know? Say U-Haul, you know? U-Haul has a thing where you rent a thing for, say, $20 a day plus mileage, and then you pay the gas and all that stuff, and then you go out and you get your feel for it. That way, when you don't like it, you don't have to get rid of a truck. All you do is throw him back the keys. He said he liked it in the end, so he actually got his CDL through the people, which is, he said it was a lot cheaper than any of the schools around. Schools around were trying to charge him like $5 grand. They charged him only $900. So take a look into that if you like to get into that. Maybe you could do a little bit of hot shotting. You know, there's a spot in there for people who want to do smaller things. This isn't really about that, but hot shotting kind of does fit into that. You could start with RV transport, and then you can go to hot shotting if you wanted to. On his first run, he got $1.50 per mile, and he was going to Houston. Houston is this gigantic RV metropolis of sorts. So that's 1,100 miles. Out of those 1,100 miles, you get paid $1.50 per mile. So that would give you $1,650. But you do have to pay for gas, and that's $440 both ways, because you're only getting paid one way. That's the problem. Since 85% of the RVs are made in Indiana, that means there's only 15% that need to be driven from other spots. So you are going to have to go back to Indiana to drive another one back down to somewhere else. Not really that bad in the end, because $440 in gas, which is tax deductible, you still make $1,210. Now you would also have to, if you're leasing a truck, deduct that. You know, if you eat food, you're not a vampire or something, deduct that. Stay in a hotel, deduct that. Anything, wear and tear, oil changes, tires, what have you, brakes, they all are tax deductible, but they do still cost money. You know, you might need new tires in 6 months. And, you know, on a dually or on a tractor trailer, that could add up, you know, because tractor trailers have 18 wheels, right? So 18 times, say, $200 is, you know, then you got to pay your insurance. Then you've got to pay for the truck payment. Then you've got to pay all that stuff. So just something to look into if you're interested. I thought I would set out the little flag there. Something you don't know exists until you see it out in the wild, you know? Like Amish people in Indiana. If you didn't see that video, it's pretty interesting. You could see these dudes just riding around in buggies. Them dudes ain't pulling RVs. That'd be funny though. I thought that was an interesting prospect for you if you're a independent guy. Obviously it is independent contracting, so you will have to save some money for taxes, and you will have to do your deductions, so that's definitely a learning process for you. But if you like to set your own hours and do whatever you want to do, and you don't have to come back whenever you don't want to come back, you just run it whenever you want to. Getting back to Indiana and see some sights and stuff, take a week or so, you could do that, you know, and then just go back to work. So just an idea out there. You can look more into it. You could probably see other people doing review and probably actually into it. And it's not that hard to get into. Gig economy as it is. If you like to drive, or you just like to get paid to listen to podcasts or see the world as it is, it could be a interesting little thing for you. All right, if you found this interesting or informative, hit it with a like. If you could find a national forest, you'll probably find pull-offs you can park in. You know, gigantic ones for trucks and everyone else alike. There's a train right there. Train tracks are right there. So we might get a nice show. Anyway, I want to make some coffee. No 25 cents over here, so I'm gonna have to do it myself. Maybe figure out a way to stop these bug bites from itching. I don't know why they're like the bottom of my leg. That's basic. That's pretty much the only spot where I'm bit. Well, except for the rest of my leg, I suppose. You know, like if you fill up your plate at a buffet, and you're like, ooh, this. And then you come back and you're like, oh, damn, they have that, but I'm not hungry anymore. I've never been on a double-decker like that before. Pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think we have any double-decker buses, though. It's odd, you know. You think you'd take it to the streets, right? Taking it to the streets. Let's see if you can make coffee before it rains, if it ever does. I don't know if this is at all interesting. I'm just kind of, you know, filming what I do, not do what I film. Get out the rain. Or I could just leave it there to chooch along, and I can hop in here myself. Just check there. Looks like my own little Yellowstone Park deal. Oh, that's another there we go. Look at it go. Ooh, whoa, whoa. No, it's pushing up bubbles. That's so cool. Alright. I'm going to try and save most of the coffee. You can see it didn't really come down too much. Say about that much water. Do what you like to do. Like me if you like me. And I'll see you when I see you. Thanks for watching. I think bathrooms need a little more of this, huh? Little advice. Whatever it was, man. It's past. Gotta live in the present, man.